Hi everyone, welcome to today's session of Transform Customer Experience with Marketing Resource Management, presented by Simple's very own Keegan Stanton and Anna Roche. Now, they will be answering questions during, if you put them in the chat, but also please ensure that you are muted during this presentation. This will be recorded, so if you would not like to, be recorded per se, then please leave now. And also, this recording will then be available on YouTube within the next week. Thank you, and I'm going to hand over to Keegan and Anna now.
Great, thank you so much, Tricia, and thank you everyone for joining the session this morning. I appreciate there's a lot of great sessions going on, so we really value the fact that you've joined with us today. The topic we're covering is how to transform the customer experience with marketing resource management. In terms of who's presenting, myself, Keegan Stanton. I'm the head of global marketing programs for Simple, MRM, Marketing Resource Management Solution. My Twitter handle's on the screen, Keegan Mum in Tech, and my LinkedIn address also if anyone wants to get in touch. My role at the business generally is to manage all of our marketing technology solutions and the integrations with the Microsoft stack as well. And also presenting today, we have Anna Roche.
Hi guys, my name's Anna Roche. I'm the pre-sales solution consultant here at Simple. So I engage with potential customers and sort of figure out their marketing requirements and processes and how that might sort of fit in with our Simple product, whilst also, of course, keeping on top of everything that's happening in the Power Platform, although, fun bells and whistles that go along with that.
Great, thank you, Anna. So I'll very quickly run through the agenda today, and we're going to start off by talking about the idea of delighting customers and giving them the real wow factor for that customer experience. We're then going to talk about how there's quite a lot of focus on the service team in terms of delivering a customer experience, and we're going to debunk that slightly, and we'll come to that later. We're then going to discuss brand reputation and how loyalty can affect and experiences can affect your brand reputation, how we can improve that loyalty by reducing customer effort, and then circling back to how marketing can help to shape the customer experience and how using a solution that is a marketing resource management tool can actually really help to shape this. And we'll complete a short product demonstration towards the end. So firstly, let's start with this idea of blinded by delight. You can see from the image in the background there, we have a lovely corporate do. We've got some gifts being given out to the customers in the background. We've got a few clinking glasses of champagne. And I like to think they're probably at a nice racecourse day or something like that. And this is an experience that corporations often revert to try and delight customers, to wow them. And they do it to try and build that lifetime customer loyalty. This kind of approach, this strategy is all about going above and beyond the usual service experience. And the brand often wants to become a thing of legend. They want to be seen as that selfless brand that gives back to their customers over and above. But I suppose the question here that I like to think about is, it's not about whether we should delight our customers. We know we need to get this experience right. But actually the question is, how are we delighting them? For decades, traditional marketing companies, they've been pushing resources, time, energy, and money, to be frank, into these kind of delightful experiences. But in my view, they've ironically missed the very thing that customers are actually looking for. And that's that seamless customer experience, that personalized service, the consistent communications to take away any confusion. If we get those basics right, then do we need these kind of, expensive, delightful experiences when, we should be able to gain loyalty through getting these basics right. And that in itself should wow customers. So this is a user group, and I know that we're online today, but usually it's quite interactive and face-to-face. So I'd like to open up the floor now to anybody who's brave enough to comment. Is anyone in the room, would like to share an example of when you've experienced a wow customer service, when you've been delighted? Has anyone got any, would like to raise a hand, and then Anna you can unmute yourself. No problem. We're warming up. That's absolutely fine. What we can do is revert to Anna. Anna, you've got a great story to tell, have you not, about a cosmetics company?
Yeah. So I was chatting to Keegan about this, and I had an experience last week where I decided I needed some new skincare product. My skin's kind of quite dry at the moment, and without going into too much detail, I sort of sent some photos and images of my skin, and they sort of analysed that and sent me a catered product based on, I suppose, the imagery and sort of video I'd sent of my skin. And I just thought that sort of really tailored experience, that personalisation, just really stuck with me. And I think, from now on, I'll sort of be continuing on with them because it really felt like it was something just for me. So that sort of personalised experience really stood out.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing. No, this is what I'm talking about. We can delight and do these big gestures, and that's great. But actually, this cosmetics company, they enabled Anna through technology. She was able to send the video of her skin, and they were able to tailor that product specifically to her and deliver it through the post without Anna having to leave her house. That, to me, is the experience that wows. It's not necessarily about these huge corporate days, but it wows customers and it delights them by preempting what they're going to need and tailoring that product or service. So to set the scene a little bit more, how impactful is customer experience on brand reputation? So you'll see on the left there, we've got some statistics. In terms of when a customer has an experience with your product or service, 71% of customers that have a positive experience are likely to promote that and become a positive word of mouth generator for your business. They will go around helping you get repeat purchases. They'll become your promotional tool, and that's really great. However, on the flip side, if they've had a negative experience, 32% will then talk negatively about the product that they've engaged with through your brand. Then we move on to the service expectations. So conversely, those that experience positive service will only 25% will promote this to their friends and colleagues. Whereas if they receive a negative experience, 65% will talk about it, which is insane. It's really clear here that if someone has a poor customer service experience, that sticks in their mind over and above a poor product experience. Now, I'm not saying we have to just focus on service. There has to be a balancing act, but it just shows how important it is that we get this right. And then looking forward to brand reputation. So, after these customers have felt positively or negatively, how does it affect, your brand reputation and who they're talking to? Well, 45% who feel positive tell less than 3 people, which is good. You might get some referrals from it. You might get repeat custom from that person, that customer. However, 48% actually will tell more than 10 people if they've had a negative experience. To me, that's astronomical. Half of the people we service are going to go around talking negatively about your business if something doesn't quite meet their expectations. That's a huge number, 10 people. So yeah, it's something to keep in the back of our minds. We really have to get this experience right through from product to service and to brand. So now I can't take all of the credit for those lovely statistics. A lot of the information for this talk was taken from this book called The Effortless Experience. And it was actually, it covers a quantitative research study completed by Dixon, Toman and DeLisi. And they surveyed 97,000 actual customers globally to understand how their loyalty is affected by their customer experience touch points, specifically with an actual customer service team. Now, the findings, they're quite controversial, and this is the debunking part. Take it with a pinch of salt, because there's always, you can always look in and around the results, but I think it is quite controversial, and it's something we need to think about. Number 1, a strategy of delight doesn't pay. So we mentioned this at the start. There was found to be virtually no difference between the loyalty of customers whose expectations are met whose expectations are exceeded, and customers whose expectations are met. Which means when we're ploughing all this money into delighting customers and going above and beyond and becoming a legendary brand, there's actually no payout for that. There's no correlation that that's going to bring more custom or, have more satisfied customer base and more loyalty long term. What we need to get right is meeting the expectations. If we get that bit right, then the customer is happy and they will be loyal. Finding number 2, satisfaction is not a predictor of loyalty. Now, I do chuckle at this one because as a marketer, I'm always trying to pull customer satisfaction metrics, net promoter scores to see, how customers feel about the brand and recommending it to others. But the irony is that those customer satisfaction scores don't actually predict loyalty. 9 times out of 10, when a survey goes out, the customer has just had an interaction with your customer service team or your support team. So that metric is actually in relation to that specific time and that issue that's been dealt with at that time. So even if they say 10 out of 10 for how it's been handled, it doesn't actually tell you if they're going to be loyal to the brand. And we'll get onto that a bit later on, why this is the case, but we can't rely on those satisfaction metrics to tell us that, a customer's going to stay with us. Finding number 3, customer service interactions tend to drive disloyalty, not loyalty. So this one is incredible. It's the harsh reality. We just mentioned, a moment ago that satisfaction metrics don't necessarily cause loyalty. Well, this is case in point. Once a customer gets to your customer service team or your support team, they tend to actually become more disloyal because they've had to go through those channels, which to me tells me they couldn't find the information online. There's not enough self-service options out there. They couldn't find the answer to their query themselves. And by the time it gets to a customer service team, this query can actually have become a problem because they are trying to find an answer to a problem now. So we really need to think about what happens before they get to this customer service team. How can we improve the experience before it gets to that support call? So to delve into this a little further, this is, like I say, the debunking approach. So we want to mitigate this disloyalty. And the study says that any customer service interaction is 4 times more likely to drive disloyalty, which is huge. So if you look at the diagram on the right, which is taken directly from the effortless experience study, the drivers of loyalty, that top one, that top band on the left bar, customers are loyal if when they reach your service centre, they have first contact resolution, you teach them something new, or you do deliver moments of wow through the way that you're handling that call and that query. However, the majority, like you say, 4 times more likely, when they get to your service or support team, it creates disloyalty. People can get frustrated if they're repeating their information, repeating exactly what they've got to say to each agent, or repeating across channels. They may have come in through the website and then they have to reiterate the whole story to a customer service agent. If they feel like they're being experiencing a robotic service, so in the sense that they are just a number in a process through channels, that causes disloyalty. And overall, the summary of the study, it's all about the customers feeling like they have a hassle factor. They have got to go out themselves to find some information they need, and when they do that, the experience isn't a great one. And so, for long-term loyalty, like I mentioned before, we need to think before the customer service experience. We need to think which departments of the business, sales, marketing, and service can help shape that experience before it gets to the call centre. So how do we do that? Solution 1, we use technology. And I'm sort of beating the same drum as a lot of you, here on the call today. We're all part of the user group because we love the tech. We all know what it can do. So let's use the technology in the best way to reduce the customer effort. We can use Dynamics 365 marketing. We can automate the customer journey and the customer touch points. We can make sure that all of our offers, recommendations, or loyalty schemes are personalized through segmentation. We can use the Power Platform to build, opportunities for self-serve, such as Power Virtual Agent, to have a bot that's going to help the customer self-serve, automate emails or customer voice surveys. And we can use the Power Platform to preempt and have a proactive service through Power Automate, through triggers and flows. And then finally, using Azure to give peace of mind to those customers that their data is stored, it's secure and it's robust. but also using AI components to look at predictive analytics. Let's look at how customers are behaving, which channels are they using, how can we improve that experience to meet those self-service expectations and reduce the customer effort. So to summarize, we need to use technology to get the basics right. We need to automate, increase efficiencies, and have seamless service across channels. But then also we need to think about marketing's impact on customer experience. As a marketer, there's lots of buzz phrases bandied around, but part of my role as a marketer and everyone's out there is to manage brand equity. Now, brand equity is the definition is the commercial value that derives from consumer perception of the brand name or a particular product or service rather than the product or service itself. So in human terms, effectively, what value does that consumer derive from your brand? What's important to them? Why were they going to stay with you? And it is all about that customer experience. And that's important over and above just the product or service. So as a marketer, we need to focus on building brand equity right from lead generation through to customer advocacy. And this is what's going to bring loyalty through that perfect customer experience. So this is just to kind of reiterate that last point. It's kind of commonplace for marketers to see this kind of customer journey timeline. We begin with awareness, and this is an example of IKEA's specific activities, marketing activities to help push the customer through the funnel. So at the awareness stage, we're all familiar with how marketing contributes here. We have online advertisement, we send out emails, we have pay-per-click advertising, Google Analytics, that sort of thing. Then when we push the customer into consideration about the product, we're going to share reviews, blogs, and across social channels, across all channels. Then 9 times out of 10, when it gets to purchase, the thought process tends to shift into the customer service team and into the support team. But actually, there is so much that marketing can do and should be doing to influence customer advocacy and to help shape that customer experience. As you can see there, during retention, we can create online forums, online communities. We can surface content for frequently asked questions and knowledge bases. And this is really where I see customer service and support teams coming together with sales and marketing, because sales and marketing can help provide those use cases, help provide that information of, what are the customers asking about? What are their queries and problems? And actually surface that information to your customer service teams and to your support teams. And then to create that advocacy, marketing can help build networks of people, communities. They can promote what the brand's doing, positively from a corporate social responsibility perspective, from a product evolution perspective, and really get those customers bought in with the brand. And the key thing here is those multiple touch points. They all feed into the customer experience, right from lead gen through to advocacy, and marketing has an impact on all of that. So now talking about marketing resource management specifically, where does it fit in? So Simple is a marketing resource management platform. We allow marketing and communications teams to create consistent customer experiences and achieve better business results by doing more in less time. So effectively, we help to streamline processes. We're building workflows through the MRM platform, and through doing so, it delivers a seamless experience. So in terms of where MRM actually sits within the product stack, because myself and Anna, we're very used to what the solution does, but how does it work alongside Dynamics and alongside other marketing technology? On the left here, we've obviously got Dynamics and also the Power Platform and Azure, as I mentioned earlier. Now, using this, we can automate marketing processes. We can create those segments and those customer journeys to make sure those touch points are correct. And that's how we can, go live with that experience. The martech stack in the middle, this is just a small subsection of the marketing. So martech actually means marketing technology. So it's anything that helps either distribute your marketing or help you to execute it through Adobe or that sort of thing. Now, in terms of MRM, Simple on the right, this is actually, it sits between both, because you can use you can use your distribution channels to push out your marketing, Dynamics to go live, but Simple actually helps you to manage that whole process. It helps you to manage the content that you're creating, to govern it, to make sure it's compliant, to make sure your content is consistent with brand, to make sure that actually, a huge part is that you're aligning the strategy between marketing, sales and customer service. So the same message is being pushed out to customers at every touch point, and it's consistent and it's not confusing. So as the command center for marketing resources, in terms of functionality, Simple helps you to manage budgets, assets, campaigns, and the customer experience to maximize the lifetime value of every customer. So referring back to the process flow of the customer earlier, the funnel, we help to manage the campaigns that bring the customer on board through MRM. Also help to manage the assets and the content, which is critical. Make sure that it is approved by business leaders, that it's compliant with brand, that it's compliant with the latest offers. And then actually that gets pushed out to Dynamics and it gets pushed out to your service teams so that they have the latest information available and on hand to service to that customer, which makes the experience seamless. And then in terms of Simple MRM and sort of how the power of it, it starts with the Power Platform. So Simple MRM is an enterprise application that is a power app for enterprise companies. We use Power Automate to automate approval workflows and ensure there's compliance in our content. We use Power BI for making sure that we can report on those critical campaigns, make sure that we are aligning all departments in the business, and make sure that everyone does have access to the right assets that they need. And Power Virtual Agent can be used for capturing internal marketing requests, for actually ensuring that everyone's on the same page. And moving to the right, we utilize Azure for secure storage, cognitive services for artificial intelligence, in terms of labeling assets so that a customer can actually go in and find assets quickly. We use Teams for collaboration, and the Simple platform is the same look and feel of Dynamics. It integrates seamlessly as it's a Power App. So it's really great for change management, because you'll see in a moment when Anna does the demo, it's very easy for a user to jump in and get started and see the value of the marketing resource management platform. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Anna now to actually show you it in action, and talk about how MRM sits within the wider product stack to actually transform that customer experience. So if I just stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you, Keegan. And I will share my screen. Oh, there might be a little bit of echo.
That's okay, Anna. I can hear you fine.
Cool. Okay. I just thought there was a little bit of an echo from someone else's side. All good. Okay. We'll
we've had a message saying there is echo. If everyone can just make sure you're on mute and just drop a message in the chat or raise the hand if you'd like to contribute, and that might get rid of the echo.
Cool.
Thanks, Anna.
Okay. Might actually be echo coming from your side, Keegan. No worries. Okay, so guys, as Keegan mentioned, I'm going to take you guys through our Simple MRM product and sort of show you all the components that she was sort of talking about within the Microsoft Power Platform stack, and how that kind of all fits together to enhance the customer experience, and sort of touch on those sort of value points that Keegan has just run us through. So as you guys can see here, we're in Simple MRM, and so as Keegan mentioned, very similar look and feel to Dynamics 365. Our main product offering is a model-driven app. And as you can see here, we're on sort of the first of our sort of hierarchy of entities, which is the initiative. And so the initiative kind of supports an overarching strategic theme or pillar, some sort of message that, you'll have multiple campaigns and marketing activities against it. So as you can see here, we've named this initiative the D365 Power Platform User Group, and it just further allows your marketing and comms team to kind of really, I suppose, cater these campaigns and initiatives against, a proper brief and schedules, financials, all that sort of stuff. We've got approvals here as well, so I haven't actually set up an approval workflow just yet, but we can sort of set up approval workflows depending on the record that we are in. And so I'm now going to navigate one level down to our campaigns. And here we've got a bit of a Kanban view of our campaigns and sort of what status they're in. I suppose this is actually now sort of a work in progress, or actually in market. So now, we're actually in the campaign at the moment. And so, you can sort of see that based, all your campaigns based on the status itself and what you've got coming up. We've also got a bit of a campaign calendar as well, just to sort of further, ensure that you know what's coming up in your campaign calendar. So we have those multiple views. So let's delve into the campaign. So the campaign itself is, it's a combination of one or more marketing execution activities to help get your content out the door and to help sort of plan around all the jobs and tasks that might go within actually making a campaign and getting that out the door. So here you can see we've actually got myself as an approver, but I'll take you sort of through the approval process when we get down to the assets itself. And so if we look now at jobs are process driven. They are the unit of work that's sort of required to actually deliver that marketing content and customer experience in that sort of approved final state. So they're sort of typically associated to campaigns and initiatives. So you can see we've got resources assigned to jobs here within the campaign. So you can see Keegan and myself have set this up so to sort of assign ourselves work to complete this campaign for the user group session. So as you can see here, and we'll take you guys through this in a moment, but one of the tasks that was assigned to me was to create the flow to actually send out a tweet when we're sort of ready. And so we create a bit of a Power Automate flow to automatically create a tweet on our Twitter when we're ready to do so. You can see here one of the jobs was to create email header artwork for our marketing email. And I'll show you in a moment how that sort of looks in Marketing Dynamics 365 app and how that sort of works concurrently with our simple MRM. But for now, I'm just going to sort of show you, one of the functionalities and features of our product. And so I suppose just for the techies out there, these are all sort of PCF controls, and it just sort of further allows that sort of developers to sort of create code components for these model-driven apps that just enhance that user experience. So these are all sort of PCF component controls. So if we go to the job itself, and I'll just point out, raise any questions, raise your hand if you have any questions. But yes, so here we've got, one of the jobs is assigned to Keegan, and it's to create the email header artwork. And so if we navigate now to assets, the great thing about Simple is, this hasn't been approved yet as an asset, but once it is, it'll sit in our sort of asset library here, as you can see sort of on the left-hand side in the sitemap area that we've got our asset library there as well. So you can really ensure that the customer experience, you're sending out assets that are approved, that have that sort of brand consistent guideline, and it's really ready to go to market. So let's compare these two assets and how that sort of versioning control works. So, I've uploaded two assets here to do with, the user group session that we're running now. And so if I click markup, this really allows us to compare and contrast the current versions and to make sure that we're actually, ensuring that we're sending out the right content. So if I just change this to the version 1 here, and you might add some comments, for example, the asset on our left-hand side, doesn't have a time or date. And so you might leave a comment, say, actually, can we have the time and date of the session on the other approved version? Again, we're talking about approvals here. So I've assigned this in review to Keegan to approve, as she's a marketer. And so she might come here and say, okay, we're ready to approve this. And, once this is approved, this is kind of where you might say, okay, once this is approved, we can sort of automate some other flow to actually send out the content via the various channels that your marketing team want to distribute that content to. So for now, I'm going to come back and sort of work our way through some of these jobs. So, these sections are very configurable. the first sort of job section was to actually sort of plan the user. Joys of a live demo. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Looks like my laptop is freezing up.
The demo gods are definitely with us.
Okay, hold on. Bear with me. I'm just going to... There we go. Okay, and I don't want to print that. Let's cancel that.
That's my my most hated message, when you get that bracket not responding, especially when you did something. Apologies, guys. We'll get yes, we will submit an offering to the demo gods next time, and we'll get this up and running when we can.
Otherwise, I'll open up in another window. But yeah, oh, come on. Okay. Oh, God.
Don't worry, Anna, we've got another 15 minutes, so we've got lots of time.
Yeah, no worries. For now, I mean, I'm just going to open it up in a different browser. So here we go. Okay, so where were we? We were back at the campaign level. And I'm just going to navigate to this campaign again. And let's go to the job list here. And so I suppose just to sort of show you what it kind of looks like when you've been assigned, you know, an approval here. Myself has been assigned the decision to approve this campaign. So this is sort of what the PCF control looks like, and you can sort of add that feedback there as well. Cool. So I suppose the next step is to kind of, you know, execute our marketing content. You know, we've created the assets, we've set up the customer journey, we've sort of, you know, approved all those assets and made sure that our content is ready for market. So now we're actually ready to execute it. And so, you know, obviously, of course, you can sort of come in here and say, let's say on status of complete with one of these jobs, we can send that marketing email sort of automatically. But for now, I'll sort of through marketing D365, but also through, I suppose, any other connectors that are in the Power Platform. You might be using Adobe Campaign. So, you know, obviously Power Automate sort of allows for those automation of those marketing content. So I'll just sort of see if, no, that's still not responding. Okay, let's just navigate now to Simple Sales. And we're in the marketing app. And so let's navigate now to our customer journey. And this is where, you know, if you had sort of set up an automated Power Automate, let's say on status of completion of that job, we're ready to send out the marketing email. And so I think we've added Andrew Bibby to this segment here.
We have. Sorry, Andrew, I did not tell you that first. You're in the demo.
And so, and obviously, you know, D365 is marketing is the area that sort of Keegan and the marketing team actually set up those marketing emails and content, and the customer journey distributes that. So let's go live with this email. And I'm not sure if Andrew's on the session, but he should be receiving one of our marketing emails. As you can kind of see a little preview in the right-hand side. Transform CX with MRM. So it's just publishing now, and once that goes live, it should sort of send you, let's refresh that. Fingers crossed. The mem, he's in there. Yep, there he is. So yeah, just shout out if you've received that email, Andrew. If not, I will move on to the next step in our flow, which is not just yet. Cool. Okay, so I suppose the next step in our flow is, okay, you know, we've sent out the marketing email to some of our user group but then the next step is to trigger a flow as well, to tweet that we're live in the D365 user group session as we are now. So if I navigate now into this job, I've set up a Power Automate flow that on completion of this job, And I'll just actually get into Twitter right now. Set up. Sorry, guys. Fingers crossed. Oh, that's really annoying. I might have to, sorry, open this up on another.
And if you want to continue with the completion of the job, I can raise Twitter on my side and then steal the screen if you like.
Yeah, that would be great, because it's Keegan's Twitter anyway, so I don't actually have the login details with me. I had it on my other prepared browser that has now gone not responding on me. Okay, so now so you can see here that the trigger flow to tweet asset. If I change the status now to complete, and we'll just save that. That should, fingers crossed, create a tweet on Keegan's Twitter page.
Here we go. There it is. We're live in the D365 user group session using Power Automate to push this tweet out with a brand compliant asset managed and approved in Simple.
Perfect. There you go. Thank you, Keegan.
There you
go. Okay, so that's just, I suppose, one way of showing how our platform within the sort of Microsoft Power Platform sort of integrates and really caters to that sort of customer experience in that sort of automated way. So I suppose the next kind of step in our job list is to, I'll show you guys a little bit of the sort of asset tagging capabilities that we have. So, this is sort of where once an asset is approved, I'll sort of come show you. These are all our sort of active. Not liking me today. These are our active assets, and some of them are still in draft stage. And once they're actually approved, they come sit in this sort of library. And this is where we sort of integrate our DAM product, so our digital asset management. And this is where you can actually come here and see how assets can be sort of tagged. So let's actually come in here and, from the Teams perspective, sort of show you how that sort of integrates with Teams as well. So I'm just now in my Teams channel, and I've added DAM as just sort of a web browser in Simple. So I'm going to upload an asset. Let's just choose one from. Let's just choose one from my folder. And let's actually just use one of these to see what the Azure Cognitive Services picks up in terms of the tagging. And so I suppose when these sort of get uploaded, where's that gone? I'm not quite sure where that went. Let's do that again. Okay. Sorry, well, this is out. There it is. Okay. So let's have a look what tags it has automated. So text, person, design, furniture, it's picked up that person sitting on a chair. And so, often there's probably about a 80% confidence kind of that you can set. You can sort of set the confidence level depending on how many tags you want. You might want multiple, you might want 12 tags, so you might set sort of the confidence level at about 30 or 40%. And Azure Cognitive Services will pick up even more things. They might pick up a light or a plant or things that are also in this image. And here you can also sort of edit your tags as well. So, let's say it picked up the text, but it didn't actually read the text. So, we might go D365 user group. And this just allows us to then really easily search for those assets. When we have another user group session coming up, we might want to sort of repurpose assets or sort of change them a little bit, depending on, and then we need to add a country here as well. Where's that sort of country gone? There we go. Country, United Kingdom. and let's just go like that. And account, let's just go brand. And then if we come back to the search here, if I go sort of, so we've tagged it as D365. Oh. So yeah, it sort of allows for that sort of searching capability as well. And then if I just now come back to simple MRM, I suppose to sort of round it off, we spoke a little bit about dashboards. So Power BI dashboards within our sort of product really allow for that, further analysis, not just within your Microsoft tech stack, but also sort of elsewhere on how your sort of campaigns are going. So yeah, that's kind of the demo part done. Any sort of questions, or want to sort of delve into any other sort of features that we've spoken about?
There's no questions through the chat, Anna. So if I jump back on, any questions, please pop into the chat. We can. Oh, there actually is one. There's one just come in, Anna. So do users have to have a Power BI license to be able to view dashboards?
Yes, they will. Yeah. So I suppose if you have sort of that overarching Power Platform license or sort of a differing Power BI license, then you'll need that to sort of view the Power BI dashboards within our simple MRM.
Yep. And then, okay, great. That's fine. That's all the questions, Anna. So I will jump back in to finish off the session. Thank you so much for doing that. Apologies that the demigods weren't with us and we had to jump into a different screen. I feel for you, Anna, but you did a great job. So thanks so much. Okay, so just to summarize what we've spoken about, we want customer loyalty to be the result of a combined effort, not just from a customer service team, but actually all departments that have touch points with customers. So you saw there that Anna was able to surface Simple in Dynamics 365, in Teams, so we can really make approved assets and communications available to the sales team and the service team and the support team very easily. But the key thing here is to have that centralized control over what is being created and what goes out to market, to make sure that communications are consistent and they're not confusing and they comply with the strategy, the business strategy that you're trying to deliver, whether that's, retention, advocacy, further recommendations for the brand, whatever it is. Everything can be centralized, managed and planned within Simple before it's then pushed out to the teams that need those communications for the touch points. We must also reduce customer effort through technology and the ability to self-serve through the Power Platform, through the technologies that we're using. And even when we have a Power Virtual Agent bot, we should be using that to feed content to the customer to preempt whatever queries or questions that they may have. And that is really where we're going to be proactive and create an incredible customer experience. We're leaving nothing to chance. We're giving them all the information they need when they need it. And I've kind of just gone on to number 3 about preempting the customer queries. So we want to proactively shape these with consistent and compliant client marketing communications across the whole customer journey, from lead gen to advocacy. And that starts with the centralized management of marketing through Simple MRM. So thank you, everybody. We're perfect. We're 2 minutes before the end of time. So we've done well today, Anna. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If anyone would like to discuss possible partnership with Simple or talk about specific customer use cases that you're finding, where marketing resource management will be able to help, the customers transform their communications and their customer journey, then please send me an email, keegan.stanton@simple.io. We're around as well for the rest of the day. We'll be on the Q&A session at 4:30. So if anyone does have any further questions, please do join the 4:30 session and we'll be around. For now, there's no more questions in the chat. If there's no more, then we've got 2 minutes back to grab a quick cup of tea before you head into the next session today. Again, thank you all so much and enjoy the rest of the user group.
Thanks, guys.
Can we all just have a round of applause for Keegan and Anna? Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as Keegan and Anna mentioned, we do have a round of other activities and other sessions going on today. So if you'd like to have a break, the next session is starting at, I believe, 12 o'clock. Am I right? I am not right. It is at, yeah, it is 12 o'clock. So the next session is starting at 12. So please grab a drink and come on back. Bye.
Thanks, Trish. Thanks all.